Angel here. So excited about this video. I wanted to do this video before the end of the year, before we actually get into 2016, because I realized that there are so many people that watch my videos and that follow my social media pages that know my story but don't know how I bridge the gap. And my story is that of being on welfare when I had my first daughter, getting pregnant at 17 years old, having her at the age of 18, and then being on welfare for 5 years, in the first 5 years of her life. And I wanted to do this video to share with you guys, whomever is getting public assistance, if you were living in public assisted housing like I did. My rent at that time was $1.50, then it went to $8.50, and then it went to a whopping $150. I was getting public housing, I was getting cash assistance, and I was getting food stamps. And so I wanted to share this video to share with you guys, if that is your situation, how to get out of that situation. So the number one thing I did to get off of welfare, to get off of public assisting, and to get out of public housing was the number one thing that I did is that I was exposed. That's number one. I was exposed to something other than all of my friends that were on welfare, all of the people that I surrounded myself were on welfare. When I say exposure, I mean I was exposed to the television. I was exposed to Iyanla Vanzant being on Oprah Winfrey's stage one Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the Oprah Winfrey Show used to come on. And I'm sitting there watching this woman talking about welfare, and now she's faring well. And I knew that there were rich people, but I never knew that I never was exposed to a story of someone being on welfare first and then gaining wealth after welfare, life after welfare. Okay, so I'm 18 at this time. I didn't have much exposure other than the kids that I grew up with and my family members. So that was number one, was exposure. I was exposed to Iyanla Vanzant sharing her story. That's number one. The second thing I did is that I had to identify just how bad I was. And when I say how bad I was, and I mean how, I want you to discover how bad you are too. What I mean by that is I began to discover my natural gifts and talents. Things that I naturally did well, things that I didn't necessarily go to school to learn how to do, to be trained how to do, and all of that fancy stuff. Just things that I was naturally good at. And one of those things were cleaning. I love to clean. Love to clean. I still like to clean as much as I did back then. However, I don't have the time that I used to designate to the cleaning. So we do stuff about that. We have stuff taken care of so that the house stays clean. Anyway, so because I liked cleaning, I started a cleaning business. Once I started the cleaning business and my clientele started to build and I started to make money doing something that I wasn't trained to do, I never went to business school. I didn't even write a business plan. Did y'all hear that? I didn't even write a business plan before I started my cleaning business. However, it went really, really well. After gaining some clients, then people started talking, word of mouth got around, and my clientele really, really grew, so much so that my husband quit the job that he had at the time and started cleaning with me. We were cleaning houses, office building, banks. We had the Johns Hopkins University, their apartment complex. We were cleaning their turnovers. And so that went really, really well. And so, you know, if you are receiving any kind of public assistance, you have to keep them abreast on what you're doing financially. And so eventually I told the Department of Social Services that this is what I was doing. I'd started my own business and I no longer needed that service. Now, let me share this with you. In the beginning, I understand that may be so difficult. This may not be the life that you want. If you are out here and you're receiving cash assistance and food stamps, no one really dreams of growing up and getting on welfare, okay? It just happens based on the decisions that we make and the lack of planning thereof. In the beginning, it may be a little scary. I will never, ever, ever, ever forget the first time I went to the grocery store and handed the cashier cash, my hard-earned cash, instead of other people's taxpayers' money on my Independence card. I was sweating bullets. This was the first time I had in my adult life that I had a cart full of groceries and I was paying for it with cash. I remember like literally handing her the cash. My hand was like shaking because I was so nervous. This was totally out of my comfort zone. I wasn't used to doing it, but I wanted that lifestyle so bad. I didn't want to be tied down to the $322 I believe that I was getting in food stamps and the $260 something that I was receiving in cash. That's not any money. That's, I mean, $300 in groceries. My family now, I mean, we can go out one night and eat that. That's not any kind of groceries. And I'm not a couponer. I'm not a good grocery shopper. So $300 for a month was not good for me. So in the beginning, it may be a little scary. However, if this isn't the life that you want, you have got to begin to take the necessary actions in order to get off of the system and begin to depend on yourself. That way you won't, many people won't be so concerned about what the government and what the president and what all these other external people can do for you, and you will begin to focus on what can I do for myself? What kind of awesome life can I create for myself? So number one is exposure. The second thing is to identify what it is that you're really good at. Now, I understand everyone isn't born to be an entrepreneur. So if you are not an entrepreneur, if you don't have that entrepreneur spirit within you, figure out what it is that you're good at and go get a job in that area. Don't just get any job. That's something I never understand that. You know, I meet people all the time that they work at, just a while ago, I met someone that worked at Ross. And she loved doing something totally different. I'm like, well, why don't you get a job in that field? At least get a job in that field. Now, I understand that there is some in-between time and in the meantime. And if you have to do what you have to do in that meantime, do not lose sight of what it is that you ultimately want to do. So expose yourself to people. You got to get outside of your circle. If you are on welfare, 9 times out of 10, 2 or 3 of your other girlfriends are too. So if they're going to go on this ride with you, send them this video, number one. And number two, make a commitment within your group that you guys are going to go and expose yourself to something new. I remember my husband and I, and this was after we got off of welfare and before we actually moved into this house, we would go to different restaurants like that didn't have prices on the menu just so we could be in the environment of what it looked like, felt like, smelt like, and all of that, to be financially able to do whatever it is that we wanted to do. So you have to have people that are going to support you along this journey. And if the girlfriends that you have now are not willing to support you, it is time to tell them bye-bye. It is time to reintroduce yourself to a new group of people. It is imperative that you surround yourself with people and with things, actual objects that you want to manifest into your life in the direction that you want to go. So I really just wanted to do this video to encourage anyone out there that is still getting any kind of government assistance to that's not the end all be all to your life. That doesn't have to be your entire financial future like I thought it was for myself when my daughter was young, when my first daughter was young. I thought that this was it. Like, I live in this place, I pay $8.50. I can't really go shopping a lot because I really don't have a lot of money to do so. And so we kind of just stayed confined. We didn't do much of anything because you pretty much need money to go into places. I mean, we can go to the playground and things like that, but to really be able to raise your children in a way that you can expose them to different things and to be able to take the limits off of what you guys can do, you're not going to be able to do that getting being on the cash assistance and welfare and government housing and all of that. And before I end this video, let me just share something with you, how amazing God is. Okay, so I used to receive checks from the state, and last year I actually went to the Department of Social Services and actually did a workshop for the women that were receiving cash assistance, and they were on the program, you know, the welfare system. And the director of the Department of Social Services bought 50 of my books to give to their clients. So I received a check in the mail. I sold them to them obviously at a discounted rate at $10 per book. So I received a check in the mail a couple days later for $500 for my books. So I was just, to me, it was like one of those moments where you just kind of say, God, this is amazing. Like, God, you are so good. Like, I used to receive checks from the state, and now I'm receiving checks from the state in a different kind of way. That was just an amazing moment for me in my business, in my career, and in my life. So guys, tap into what you're good at and either start a business in that area. If you need help starting a business in that area, stay tuned. I got a video coming up for you guys soon. And if you are not an entrepreneur, get a job. An amazing job, and I don't care, you're probably more than likely gonna have to start from the bottom. So go in there with your bad self. Even if you think you are more qualified than everybody else, you don't have to go in there thinking that. You can go in there being that person, and the people that are on top of you will advance you. There is always someone watching you that is capable of greatly blessing you. I'm going to say that again. There is always someone watching you that is capable of blessing you. I always tell my children this, always tell my girls this. And the amazing thing is, my oldest daughter has a job. When she started working at this job, she started at the entry level. She wasn't even there for a year. Now she's the manager of this business. So now people were watching her, and they were in position to advance her. Now she's in position, and she comes home from work and she tells me, she's like, oh my goodness, you know, they're hiring for seasonal help right now. She's like, I really want this one girl to stay because she's so amazing. She's got a great attitude. And it's amazing to me because I'm like, here, now you are in position to greatly advance someone else. So if you want to be an employee, go in there and be the best freaking employer that you can possibly be, and watch how you advance in that company. Guys, I absolutely love each and every one of you from the bottom to the top. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about being on welfare and the process of getting off of it, it really is a mindset. It really is a mindset. You can ask me those questions, or if you feel you don't want people knowing your business, you can always email me. I'll leave all that information in the description box below as well. Guys, I love you from the bottom to the top, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hey guys, one more thing before I end this video. I wanted to share this. If that is your situation, you are getting government assistance right now from the state in which you live in, and you are not in position to make that transition right now, I want you to take advantage of the opportunities that the system is providing you. If they're offering you school, if they're offering you any kind of training, take advantage of that while you are still utilizing this tool, which is welfare, to get you from where you are to ultimately where you want to be. Don't look at it as, oh, they just want to be in my business, or I'm not going to take none of these classes. Actually utilize the programs and things that they offer you within your state to also help you advance, to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Okay, now guys, I'm really going this time. I love you.